Hey everybody, good morning. Anna Sabramowitz here, and I wanted to shoot a special video for you because I think that there's some questions about interactive storytelling, and I wanted to make sure that everybody's on the same page about where it fits and where it can add a lot of value. So what I'm going to talk about just quickly today is really about how to bridge that gap between what people believe, is this good for me, all the way to, your sexy training. So one of the things that I wanted you to consider, and I just had this conversation with a client. And by the way, if interactive storytelling is something you want to get awesome at, go to elearningsecrets.com, register for one of my upcoming webinars because I'm going to be running them live. And of course, then when I stop, it's not going to be available anymore. Anyways, so one of the things you want to do is, and this is cool, I was having a conversation with this lady, and she said, I started at this company. They're awesome. She loves her role. And one of the things that she had at her organization was that they had a huge repository of really great training. And so instead of remodeling it all, what she did is she actually leveraged some gamification elements. And she's like, listen, I just gamified a couple of the pieces that were really relevant, and people actually are starting to notice that employees enjoy that aspect of it, right? And I was like, oh, that's awesome. That's cool, because the thing is, there's a lot of organizations out there that have really great training, repositories, and it's robust. It doesn't need to be completely reimagined, right? And also that would be a sick investment. And obviously people have already used that stuff to become great performers. So you don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel there. But she said one of the things that she's struggling with is that even though this training is great and they're getting traction and people are enjoying it, it's spreading really slowly, right? Like the idea of this, that it's actually fun and useful at the same time is a really big issue. And she's been there for less than a year, and it's still just the momentum is just so slow, right? And I said, listen, have you considered interactive storytelling? She's like, what is that? And I said, listen, there's going to be people out there, and I'm going to use the virus as an example of this, right? So right now, we've got this virus going on. And one of the things that's happening is that I see tons of training being released out there, like, hey, here's one more video on how to wash your hands properly. Here's how to avoid, getting in contact with you. Anyways, a lot of it is very, very good info, right? And as far as I'm concerned, that's the logic part of this, right? The logic part of this, which is that, and I hope you can see this in the way that it is supposed to be seen. So if you can let me know in the chat if this is actually showing up for you the way it should be, which is not backwards. So that would be super awesome. Let me know in the chat if you can actually see this. And if not, then I'll try and, mess with this so that it actually shows up so you can read it. But if you can't, basically, for me, training is that logical part, right? It's the part that is, once somebody is actually really believes that the training can help them and believes that this is something that can actually benefit their lives, then logically you can show them how to do, how to take the next step, how to be a part of a great team, how to be a great leader. All those things that we already have in our repositories, they're working. So with COVID, right, we've got all these training videos, how to avoid infection, how to take care of people, whatever it is, right? So that's very logical. But the thing that messes us up, and I bet you there's people out there who, when they see those videos, they say to themselves, that's okay, I don't need to watch that. I've been washing my hands for years. I bet you there's people out there like that, right? They probably didn't even see that video. I bet you there's people out there who are like, well, I've never been sick, so it's not going to happen to me, or I'm taking all my vitamins, it's never going to happen to me. So the thing is, you're presenting to them this valuable, logical info, and they don't have the belief system in place to believe that it's actually going to affect them, or that they need to go through this training at all because of the things that they believe, the emotions that they have. Therefore, you can show them all the sexy videos and put everything you want out there for free. They're never going to look at it because you haven't adjusted their beliefs and their emotions. You haven't connected an emotion to it, right? But that's where interactive storytelling comes in. Because guess what? This is not a new thing. For us to have training that people don't see the value in is very common. And one of the ways we try to address this as people who design learning is we try and create learning outcomes that mean something to people, right? That they're very practical and valuable. So you'll say things like, by the time you finish this module, you will be a better leader. By the time you finish this module, you'll have the skill set to be able to be let's say, overcome objections during a sales call, right? Now, this is the challenge with that. By the time somebody gets to this learning outcome, they have to believe that it's worth it to them. So what do you get in this here? How do you get them to believe this stuff? Well, that's interactive storytelling. So an interactive story, what it does is it sells them that future. It shows them things that they didn't think were possible. It also shows them how some of the things that they've believed may be wrong. It also, what it does, this is the huge thing. It connects them emotionally to that outcome. So that now when they're presented with information, they're seeking it out because emotionally they believe that it is valuable to them. So that's the big deal with interactive storytelling. It doesn't replace the logic. It doesn't replace the training. The training's already probably pretty awesome. But the goal is to get people there that believe that it is valuable to them. How do you do that? You have to change what they believe about it in themselves, and you have to change their emotions, how they feel about that. And when you do that, this is going to rock. This is the catalyst that gets them enabled, that they're now buzzed about it, and it's going to save them, right? It's going to help them. It's going to make them the person that they imagined that they were during this interactive story. So if this is something you want to learn more about, check out my webinar at elearningsecrets.com, or stick around here. This is a great group to be. If you have any questions, post them underneath the video and I'll be able to answer them. All right. So I hope you have a wonderful rest of the day, week, and I'll see you here very, very, very soon. Okay. Take care, friends. Bye. And thanks for stopping by. I appreciate it.